let's get right to it. Love this lady, New York Post columnist, now in Florida. Spent most of her life in New York. The very talented Karol Markowicz. Been late. Big morning. Brian Kilmeade, Paul Morrow, Senator Ron Johnson, all here. Still to come, John Catsimatidis, Bill O'Reilly, and Miranda Devine. But here is my friend Karol. Karol, good Monday morning. How are you?
Hi, Sid. So nice to be on with you.
Nice to have you back, too. And, of course, on this day, after what we saw once again, Saturday night, another attempt at President Trump's life. We've discussed all morning long, every angle of it, why it happens. Democrats, did the Secret Service do a good job or not? What does the future look like? So let me get to you, Karol, your thoughts on what we witnessed on Saturday night.
Well, my main thought about it is that the wannabe shooter was mimicking and parroting very kind of mainstream Democrat talking points. He sounded like he could have been on CNN. He did not sound like a fringe Reddit, kind of guy. I think that's very concerning, that this is no longer like a super fringe thing that these wackos, find themselves feeling violent and having mental health issues and taking a shot at the president. This is like a guy who went to Caltech. Maybe he was on a downward spiral, but he had all the tools for success and got derailed by possibly just the mainstream Democrat Party.
That's it. Really, MS Now, even more than CNN. I find them to be even more repulsive. But you're right, either one of them. And, he's doing stuff in his manifesto that they call President Trump every day. And they keep making this point every day because it's worth making. They call me that. I mean, what do I have to do with Jeffrey Epstein? They call me a pedophile on Twitter every day. Why? Because I'm friendly with the president. So Sid's now a pedophile, and Sid's a Nazi. So, it's not hard to figure out why some of these psychos are out there trying to kill President Trump when these media people and of course, the politicians are very quick to say things like that.
Exactly. I mean, he was basically parroting what these politicians were saying. I mean, Nancy Pelosi has said that Trump has betrayed the oath of office. Joe Biden called him, said that he had betrayed the Constitution. Eric Swalwell, same kind of thing, betrayed our country. Tim Ryan, Trump acted like a traitor. I mean, these are the words that he used in his manifesto. This is a man, again, who has not been radicalized by some fringe. He's been radicalized by the mainstream Democratic Party. I think Democrats need to take a long, hard look at themselves. They have to understand this does not stay contained to just their side. This is going to motivate people on the opposite side to kind of behave in a crazy way too. They should want to bring down the temperature. I mean, this always happens. This is like a constant thing with them where they think that they could do whatever they want, and then they realize, actually, it'll end up biting us as well.
Yeah, I don't know about the other side. I know that there was a Shapiro incident and a politician in Minnesota, it could, but I get very upset, and I was happy to see Dan Bongino make this point yesterday too. When I have family members and friends who go, both sides are crazy. Stop it.
No, not
Stop
both
it.
sides.
One side is completely insane. Right.
One side is completely insane. What I'm saying is that if they don't bring down the temperature, they cannot count on just their side staying insane. Yes, right now, all the bullets are going in one direction. Absolutely. But how much longer will various people on the right take it? I think that's like the question they need to be asking themselves. Is this going to stay this way? And they just can't count on that. And they should do the right thing for the country and bring down the temperature.
And yet, because I talk to Rick Scott on this show now almost every week. I talk to Congressman Randy Fine on this show now almost every week. You don't seem to have a lot of these issues in sunny Boca Raton, do you?
Look, Florida's a different thing. It's something that I really appreciate about the state. I appreciate a lot of things about it, but being able to exercise our Second Amendment rights, for example, we feel a lot safer and secure here. Obviously, bad things can happen anywhere, but it does happen more often in blue jurisdictions. That it's really hard to overlook that.
blue jurisdiction on Saturday night. Doesn't get much bluer than D.C., except for maybe New York and California, which you pointed out very recently, and you're right, Carol, that a California billionaire tax gets on the ballot. Talk about that story.
So it's been a long time coming because it's been in the news for a while as billionaires like Sergey Brin leave the state. So what's going on there is a proposed wealth tax. So it would confiscate wealth from billionaires in the state, and it would be retroactive to last January 1st. So a lot of billionaires left in December. Now, the argument was, why are the billionaires leaving? This isn't even on the ballot yet. And that's because the billionaires didn't trust the voters in their state not to get it on the ballot. And today we find out that this wealth tax has made the ballot. It has enough signatures to be on the ballot in November. Next thing, people in California will be voting on this measure, and then the governor will have to decide whether to sign it into law. The billionaires understand that they're living in a crazy place. California has gone completely off the rails, and they understand that they can't trust their fellow citizens in California not to enact this piece of legislation. So billionaires have been out the door. Multimillionaires have been out the door because they know once the billionaires have left, they're going to be the next ones getting their wealth confiscated. I mean, it's an ongoing thing in these leftist enclaves where the left pushes the more mainstream Democrats to move leftward. And that's what we're seeing in California.
No, it's everywhere. In fact, I just said to Ron Johnson said radical left, and I said, please don't get offended, but stop doing that. Because to me, there's the left. That's it.
Yeah,
Democrats, the same thing. I don't care if you're Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, Jamie Raskin, or Bernie Sanders. They're all the same. They all end up the same. This common sense Democrat doesn't exist. There's one. His name is John Fetterman. He's a Republican at this point. It's nonsense. He's a Republican, or else there's no such thing. And you talk about pushing out billionaires. We got a story here. This guy's name is Ken Griffin, Carol, and he's a CEO of Citadel. He wanted to do a $6 billion project in New York City, which also would have created about 15,000 jobs. And this piece of garbage, radical Islam mayor of ours, who wants to punish successful people and get them out of here, he's driven Ken Griffin to the point where he's really considering not doing the job. Well, how does that help Mamdani and his $5.4 billion budget hole?
That's right. And, Ken Griffin moved from Chicago to Florida in 2022, same year I moved to Florida, and he took Citadel with him, his company Citadel. So a $51 billion hedge fund moved from Chicago to Florida, and he still has branches elsewhere. He still has an operation in New York, for example. He can decide not to have that anymore. I don't know if he will. I think that he employs thousands of people in New York. He's kind of I don't want to call Ken Griffin a softie, but he kind of is. He sort of wants to do what's best for the people despite the terrible leadership. But he needs to teach Mamdani a lesson. You can't say this kind of thing. You can't stand outside of somebody's home, point up to it and say, this is a bad person. This is somebody we need to target and expect everything to be okay. I think that Ken Griffin should take the billions he's planning to invest in New York City and invest it in places that welcome him, invest it in places that welcome his company, invest it in places that welcome his money. And I understand his commitment to the people of New York, but he needs to rethink that.
I agree with you. I live here. I work in the city. My beautiful wife works in the city. My two children, my daughter Ava works in the city. My son Gabriel goes to school in the city. I live in Queens. I need this place to prosper. I don't care at this point. I want us to hit our knees. I'm a recovering addict. I know about hitting my knees and accepting, number one, I'm powerless, okay? We need the city to do that, and Mamdani will do that. Give him the opportunity. I want Griffin to take his money out. I would even ask John Catsimatidis to spend more time in St. Petersburg. I would ask Bill Ackman to go to West Palm Beach, because this city, it will hit rock bottom, but it may hit faster if some of these people like Ken Griffin say F you to this mayor, who turns out, Karol Markowicz, as afraid as we were when he won, 100 plus days in, he's even worse.
He is even worse because he feels like he has to cater again to the really radical far left flank. He's considered
Yeah,
not
but that's
far
him.
left enough
No,
for
that's
these
him.
people.
That's him.
No, I know. But he gets targeted by the even bigger lunatics. Like last week, the whole week was stories of Mamdani not being left enough, and he wants to be the furthest left. So yeah, I agree. It's him, but he is untethered, and I think he's just a complete disaster. He's incapable of governing, and so he needs to do stunts like this to make up for that.
So you got to feel better and better every day about 2022, yes?
You know I do, Stu. You know.
Yeah, I know you do. But your family is still here, right? Isn't your mom and dad still here?
My mom, my brother, they all still live in Brooklyn. Look, again, like you, I want New York to recover. I do think it is still on a downward spiral. I think it's nowhere near where they're going to be able to turn it around. They need to get to a point where they would elect a Rudy Giuliani to fix things. And we both know that they're not at that point yet.
They're going to get there. You know who's running in 2029?
Who?
Me.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got Lara Trump on the show a couple of days ago to endorse me already. It'll take me 5 minutes to get DJT to endorse me. I've got Bruce Blakeman, who hopefully is going to beat Kathy Hochul for governor. He's like, as soon as I win, I'm announcing you're running. So I know my wife is listening. She's going to kill me. I know that. But I got so many really powerful people that matter. This is not a joke, that are saying to me, maybe you. Why not?
Sid, I could see it. You care about that city. You love that city. You want to turn it around. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Will you endorse me in the New York Post?
I mean, I don't do endorsements, but, you know, you'd have my personal support.
Well, we'll play the tape on the air, that's all, because we love you so much. We think so highly of you. We really do. And
feeling is mutual.
I know. Thank you. You're a great writer for the New York Post, and we continue to bring you on here all the time. You're great on Fox News. So keep talking, Karol Markowicz. God bless you.
Thank you, Sid.
Thank you, sweetheart. Okay.
Thank you.
There she is, Karol Markowicz, terrific columnist of the New York Post.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?